As the 70s roll in, stability around the world has never been as shaky. Interplanetary alliances join together to seek ideological supremacy across both planets. Cultural shifts are uprooting norms that have been in place for centuries. Technological shifts have been changing how the world itself functions. As these shifts occur, life continues in the Seedbearer region, where a seemingly random group of people have come together to try and make sense of the nonsensical. This is Hazeltown Story.
Hello, I'm Bobinator. I am playing Ferrus D'Ettero. He is a raccoon somewhere from up north, and he is a TV nature / history documentarian by trade, which mostly involves going to a lot of isolated places and messing around with the camera.
Alright, I'm Carnival. I'm playing Claudia Lupin, a security expert who dreams to become a master thief.
I am, of course, Deathmaster780. I will be playing Bob B, a businessman with maybe illegal connections, and also probably Nellis Masters, a college student obsessed with death.
I'm TorpidTypist. I'm playing Iravia, a giant cowwoman who could absolutely fucking crush you.
You all walk in to the court god, which, by the way, previous listeners, if this slightly is off, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to set this, start this here. I'm pretty sure this is where I ended last time. So
we ended right as we entered the restaurant. It's fine.
Yes. So you all walk into the restaurant and you kind of take a look at the decor. You see that it looks like you would imagine a very sort of a Chinese restaurant that really it is in a region that let's say doesn't like it is a more, I don't want to say stereotypically adorned, but it is like it's adorned with stuff that are to evoke a quote unquote Chinese atmosphere. So you'll see some statues around, but of the things that are that adorn the walls, one thing that is kind of given a little bit more attention than other things is crap, I forgot what the let me go and is it Jian?
Jian. At least that's my best approximation. Someone who knows Mandarin better can yell at me, and I will accept that.
Yeah. So a Chinese longsword that is adorned in a proper scabbard, and on the end of it is a like on the handle there is it's like one that has like a tassel at the end of it. But on the end of the tassel you see a what looks like a talisman on the end that looks like it was kind of put there with maybe like it was tied to it. So, and it looks like a kind of it has some what you can see as some sort of Chinese script on it, and it is just hanging on the end of the wall. You're too far away. There's a little plaque underneath it, and you can see that it is well adorned on the wall, and it's kind of set in a place that it's pretty hard to miss it.
Man, that sword looks real fucking dumb.
Yeah. So Nellos comes into the restaurant after the other three, and she gives Ferrus like a sort of confused look, like she recognizes them, but she doesn't know why. But then turns to Ravi and says, "All right, I'm here. What's up?"
We're eating Chinese.
If she doesn't know Ferrus, Ferrus is going to introduce himself.
Yeah, this is a survival show, nerd.
I will have them know it is a very highly rated show, thank you.
Dude, I don't really watch TV that much.
He will say that you shouldn't, it's not good for you.
I'm good. I got better things to do, like anything else.
He said shouldn't, not should.
No, well, I mean, my point stands.
And then he's going to point over at that sword and ask if anyone knows anything about it. He will take a big interest in it, like look at it, stare at it, going around different angles.
I'm assuming the walls of this place are adorned with all kinds of crap.
Yes.
Yeah. Paper
Do I know
fan.
if it's real?
I would.
Figure that's not exactly your purview.
Yeah, that would be something that you would have to.
Roll for.
Let me check something. Do.
Meantime, Nels says, you said something on the phone about a ghost in a sword or something like that.
We were looking for an artifact or something. I don't know. I'm fucking hungry. We couldn't find anything at all the antique shops.
Uh,
You like Chinese?
sure.
By the way, I'm very sorry. Who's the new person we're speaking to?
Oh,
Nellos.
this is Nellos. They're a fucking weirdo. They like supernatural shit.
Yeah, she actually predates Bobby in terms of how long I've been playing this character, but she's technically not associated with the group anymore.
I
Like my
see.
headcanon is she just lost interest after the first mission because she has a very narrow interest in what she likes. So ever since then, like Theron hasn't been able to get her to come in.
Yeah, just in character, just like, yeah, she really likes spooky shit for some reason, which is why it's always funny when she doesn't see it. But, you know.
Yeah, she basically got involved in like the last campaign because she was there on her own mission and just happened to cross paths with Iravia.
And then got blue balled.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was taking a look at your stats, and I would say you definitely. So none of your expertise or your vocations would cover that. Or wait, hold on. I'm looking. See, here's the problem with having a character named Bob and having a player named Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unintentional.
Okay. You do have history in your expertise.
I don't know. I feel like their scope is a bit more narrow than that, though. But that's up to Bob.
I mean, I'm sure he looks in like rumors. Like even if he doesn't know anything about actually supernatural stuff, he'll still flip on like the stories and all that.
I meant specifically like
So
weaponry,
now,
swords, and historical weaponry.
So the thing that I would say about that, first off, for your action roll, what would you want to roll? What action?
I guess research. Is that sound right?
Let me see. I would say that could. So, what I would say, if you want to say, if you want to take a look at it and kind of research it a little bit closer, just kind of from where you're at, I would say that from your standpoint, as you have history, what I would assume is in that case is more. I would say maybe it would make sense for you to have a inclination of looking at particular older artifacts, and just from not necessarily knowing the intricacies of like Chinese swords, like swordscraft. What you would have had or like knowledge of is artifacts in general, and knowing like certain aspects of it that seem like inconsistency with like material that would make it seem fake. However, because you're not familiar with that specific thing, I would say you would have a limit. So you're now granted, are you so when you're just investigating, you're just looking at it, right?
Well, I want to know if there's like anything in my notes from like previous shows that might match up with this.
In that case, I would say probably not. But if you want to take a look at it and investigate it that way,
yeah, I guess I can do that.
I would say if you're just looking at it, it's controlled because there's no like threat or anything involved. But I would say your actual effect is going to be limited.
Okay, so research still?
So that is going to be research. Technically, you'll get 1+ die because of your knowledgeable ability, because history is part of your expertise.
And you said limited effect, right?
Limited effect. That is a failure. So of a 3, 1, and 2. So mark experience for intellect. And you take a look and you don't see anything in particular that stands out as whether or not it's real or fake. You just kind of take a look at it and you can't really tell.
Ferrus will kind of just shrug and say that he hadn't really been to this region very much, so he wouldn't know as much as other people might.
I was gonna say, is Beacon freaking out at this point?
So, what I will say, for Beacon, let me just double check. So, here's what your Beacon senses are tingling at this point. You can tell that there is something. However, you can tell that the analogy that I'm going to use is this. Imagine that you're now great. So have you ever it's like when you're dialing down, or like when you would dial you're trying to find a radio station, like going through, and you're kind of you can like twist the knob, and you can tell that there should be a station somewhere in there. You can hear sound coming in, however, it's incredibly muffled.
I love spirit boxes.
So you can tell something is here, however, something is limiting something.
So Nellis is just going to go up to the counter and place an order.
Okay.
She will have the beef fried rice.
Robbie's gonna just come up next to her and ask for the same thing.
Yeah. While she's ordering, she'll casually point at the sword and says, "Cool sword. What's the deal with that thing?"
Hideous.
That sword there. That is that's a sword that the owner of the establishment actually, when they immigrated over here, that is a family heirloom that they brought over from China.
Oh, is it now? Is anything else in here authentic then? Or is it just chintzy crap?
No, it's just side eyes, Iravia.
The person behind the counter says, "Well, I'll have you know that everything here is authentic Chinese wear." And the person just kind of looks at you like, "Hey, I'm part-time. Just let me have this."
Mind if I touch the sword?
We wouldn't want, just in case it would damage it. We would prefer that no one were to. We kind of want the things to kind of stay up where they are.
I didn't want to take it down. I just want to touch it. Just a little.
Still, just in case we don't want anything
to greasy finger on it.
Well, then we definitely don't want to get it, because we'd like to keep it clean as possible.
Ravi is already walking toward the sword.
At this point, Claudia's gonna cut in. It's like, do you have Peking duck?
The person. Go ahead.
I have an idea. Do you think there's like anybody I can get in contact with who could like appraise it and see if it's a real thing or not? Anybody in my contacts would be able to know?
I take it that you're saying this to be the DM and not the person character. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Sorry.
I mean, you would probably, like, if you're dealing, like, I would say it would make sense if you had a contact. They could get it appraised.
But that would require taking it down off the wall.
Yeah, that's
also theft.
Yes.
Right. That's the hard part.
I mean,
I was gonna set up a meeting with like management on that, although I don't know why they'd go along with that.
I'm gonna fucking touch that.
I mean, that's what Claudia's coming in with the orders, like, is just trying to give, like, buying time somehow, like, for them calling for a roll here, kind of, just to be clear.
You know what? I just thought of something obvious. I'm just gonna go up to them and ask them how much they would want for the sword.
Gonna touch the fucking sword out.
Oh, okay.
A lot is happening right now.
Yes. Okay, let's. Okay. So, in regards to asking the person, would you want to ask the person behind the counter who is taking your order, or would you want to get a thing to talk to management, essentially?
I'd like to speak to management then.
Okay. While we'll figure that out. So, Torpo, Ravi, I take it you're just going to go up and just try and touch the sword?
Just fucking rub my finger across that sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do.
Smear.
Yeah.
Okay. Before, just to make this just a little spicy, let me take a look. I just want to double check to make sure.
Out of curiosity, since we're technically at the point where this intersects, what's going on from Eternal's position?
So, Eternal doesn't know anything that's happening at this moment.
Yeah.
Because something is happening.
Yeah, I imagine Virtue is basically like, if she's conscious, she's trapped in the box and like yelling.
Also, Eternal, I don't know what that is. Anyway, let's see. You know what? Roll action for that.
Me?
Yeah.
What should I roll?
That is a good question. What do you think? So, what action? Because technically, the way this like actions, I'm not supposed to suggest. Although I will say, I mean, sabotage might work. Although sabotage is kind of weird in that case.
I mean, it's just hanging on the wall. I don't need to do anything to fucking touch it.
So you're just gonna go and poke it.
She wants to get the ghost touch in.
I love touching ghosts.
You know, I'll just, since it'd probably be too complicated if I did actually an action roll, I'll just say, since Claudia's going to go up and kind of run interference on this, I would say, so you go up and it's just on like the side of the wall. Now, how hard of a poke are you giving this thing?
Oh, I'm just fucking straight up grabbing the fuck, what's the word?
The end thing?
The hilt?
The hilt. The grip. Grabbing the grip.
Yeah, the hilt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could use focus too, because that's always relevant. If you want me to. Because the ability to comprehend breaks from accepted reality.
Okay. Well, so what I'll say is this. For this, I'll give you for free. You walk up there, or Iravia walks up there, and goes and reaches up. Let's just say that it's in a particular time that there's not a whole lot of people there. So you see you just kind of go up, and you go and touch, like, with the tip of your fingers, the hilt. Or not the hilt, the grip. And as you do that, you feel a slight sensation in your arm that feels like something is like you can feel a presence, but you're not exactly certain what the presence is. It is something that you can feel that there is a presence within the sword.
Well, it's time to grip it and rip it, baby.
As you kind of as you kind of grab onto it, you realize that it is bolted to the thing. Like, it is stuck. Like, it is, like, you grab onto it and you try and shake it. It is like, you would have to rip something out of the wall, like, pretty hard. Like, we're talking, like, not like hanging a picture down, or like ripping a picture frame from the wall. We're talking like,
Smash 4, you say?
And push it to the limit.
Okay. Well, okay. So, from what you can tell, it is okay. So I'll give you that bit of thing for free. That you try and like shake it, and it's like you can tell this thing is like you're gonna have to rip the wall down in order to get this thing off.
Well, time for some demolition, I guess.
I can't wait to get booted from another fucking restaurant.
Again, I love that Iravia's idea is not to pull off the seal, but just rip it down first.
Well, the seal, if you ripped off the seal, that still wouldn't solve the problem. Because it's the sword that's in the wall.
True.
Time to grip it and rip it.
Okay. So, there is...
Because I got push it to the limit.
Hold on, let me take a look at something. Which one's... Okay, which one's push it to the limit?
Guess I'm not getting that beef bowl.
Okay.
Neither's Nello's.
There's a moving large or holding.
Basically, exceptional feats of strength.
Yeah. Okay.
You sound like you were totally not expecting this course of action.
Well, no. So the thing that I'm thinking of is what is the mechanical way I'm planning on doing what I'm doing.
I mean, first, why don't we just let the dice see if like the action succeeds, and then go from there?
Because the thing is, I don't want to. I'm like, it's like, okay, do you just want to go 0 to 100, or do you want to see if there's literally anything else you can do in a way? Or
So
is this a foregone conclusion?
Well, team, what do you think?
I feel at this point it's pretty clearly this is a foregone conclusion. We have gone loud, but
Nobody can stop Iravia. The only person who could stop is currently off doing something else.
Okay. So before that happens, I will actually be right back.
You know, Carnival, if you hadn't mentioned push it to the limit, it would never have occurred to me.
that's why I do keep an eye on general. I try to keep an eye on everyone's sheets to remind people, because like for things like this.
If Carnival had mentioned it, I would have. On my sheet too, so although Nellis doesn't have that one.
Literally gonna fucking rip out some drywall.
Look, I figured this is how it was going to go, but I wasn't sure if it was just going to be Claudia suggesting we just steal it first, or just Iravia actively just destroying the building.
Maybe it'll lose value for repair the wall. That make it easier to buy legally.
Oh, and you could
At
actually
this point, it is all-out theft.
Actually, Torpid, down in vocation. Do you have it since you construction? Do you have anything in there that could help?
Unfortunately, the vocation thing does not actually work like that because it is about other people and research.
But you could use the locks thing to give you another boost.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna argue beacon.
Okay. Let's see. So, we are going to try and pull the sword off the wall.
Straight up, grip it and rip it, baby.
Let me just think about what are the angles that I want to take for this. So you were doing this in broad ass daylight while during during
Rush hour.
No, it's off hours.
Yeah, it's not rush hour, but I mean they're open. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just trying to think about how this should go down. Anyway, okay. I'm trying to think just mechanically. If you want to try and rip it down, roll. That is definitely an action roll.
I mean, this is probably either risky or desperate to be.
This is a desperate ass move.
Hey, quick question. Could I abuse beacon for this?
Okay. By the way, I'm leaving in that little bit of your discussion.
Oh no, this is absolutely leave that in, because this.
Just in case you were wondering. Okay. So here's the thing I'd say about beacon. You are yanking an object off a wall that is not getting information about said object. That is,
it's getting info in a way.
Not in the way that beacon would work. I am not letting you do that.
I'm not going to argue for anything's a weapon, though. I could.
That's not, no.
That'll be for after you rip it off the wall.
No, that's using it as a tool to rip out the wall.
That doesn't count.
That doesn't. I gotta call that one no.
Okay, either way. So that is a 4.
Okay. So what are you I take it that you're going to use smash.
Gonna use smash. Let me smash.
Okay. Well, first off, that is desperate. because you're in the worst possible thing. Also, you are not doing this stealthily at all.
Nope.
Um,
You don't rip out a wall stealthily.
So I will tell you this: even if you succeed, like a roll of 6, you are going to not. This is not going to be a subtle move. This will cause attention.
Never expected it to be. Standard effect.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, you do have push the limit, so I feel like it would be cheating if I told you limited. So go ahead.
What's the thing where I take stress to improve my dice?
So that is
Push.
That's pushing, which is that cost to. There is the additional thing, which is a devil's bargain, which is you take an additional bit of bad luck that gives you an extra dice. However, even if the roll is successful, you still have to take it. But you can choose to deny it after I tell you what the penalty will be.
What would the penalty be?
Well, we already know that you're going to be caught. Like, this is like they're going to notice
without a doubt.
How about you attract the attention of other people after relics?
No, it's not going to be like like someone walks in. Oh, hey, is that a relic?
Yes.
That's not going to be the case. How
about the arrival time of the cops gets halved?
See, I was thinking of. I have an idea.
Go on.
What if it's guaranteed that doing this, the sword's going to get damaged?
So Virtue's going to take harm then.
Oh,
you know, I have an idea. No matter what happens, the seal gets damaged, but it's like Virtue's like not conscious, so it just starts leaking energy all over the place.
Oh, actually, okay. So I don't know if this is in the spirit, but I will say that if you do this, the talisman will get knocked off and could land other places.
Right in your beef soup.
No.
But yeah, no, that's in the spirit because that means the talisman is a active part of the scene now. That's become more important. I
will say this: the talisman right now is affecting the relic. It doesn't mean that the talisman only affect relics.
To be fair, I have no clue what the fucking talisman is.
This is true, but I will say this: especially as your beacon, you will say that maybe you don't want to mess with that talisman.
Okay, well, I'll stick with the push at least.
Okay. So, roll, I'm guessing 5 die.
Yep.
I can't assist because I'm already keeping things away.
Nellos doesn't know what you're doing.
No, Nellos refuses to acknowledge what I'm doing. Get it right.
And I'm guessing Ferrus is also not going to try and assist here.
No, is he seeing this? Is he nearby when this is happening?
Yes, you are experiencing secondhand cringe.
All right,
Run for your life, famous man. You're on TV. People know who you are.
Yeah, I want to try to stop Iravia, or at least try to find a different tack here before she does this. Do I have the time to do this?
Okay.
I didn't say anything before because I didn't know if I was nearby or not.
I mean, you're all still in the restaurant. You can, you can see her going over.
Like, I still want to.
Cryptid at this point.
I still want to talk to the management and see if we can do this legally.
That's about to be moot.
I would say,
unless you can suplex Iravia, this is happening.
That's not happening. Although actually, technically, Carnival, if that's what you're doing, is if what Claudia is doing, wouldn't that be setting up?
Yes, that was what I intended, but it just got mixed up when you're discussing.
I'm trying to think. You made an action that changed into someone else's desire to give her.
Because I can do a setup action right now just fine, because I know exactly what to roll for it.
Okay, so is that an action? Because I forgot, what is the rule set for setting up?
It'd be a normal action roll, just like any other, but I'm trying to find the exact thing.
Because I could have. It's not like you just take one stress, right? I should probably get the rule set up.
It's from teamwork. I'm looking in the last section. Yeah, it's just an action, and I can just give them improved effect or position.
Okay.
So I'm literally interfacing and getting in the way of the staff trying to do stuff. So this is clearly sabotage.
Okay. So Iravia, before you roll your roll, Claudia, you roll an action roll.
And I'm going to push for this. Well, what's the position for this? I'm guessing.
So since it's just dealing with
a part-timer who really doesn't want anything to do with this.
Yeah, this is risky.
I would say yes. I would say let's go risky. And I would say controlled. Or not controlled, I'd say normal.
Okay, so standard effect. I'm just making sure. Would this cover has got you covered? Because is like, oh wait, no, sorry, that's any non-team member knowing you caused it. So never mind.
Hold on, which one? So which one got you covered?
Got you covered. I wasn't sure if it was. I need to reread it, saying like, yes, no. Someone knows I'm doing this.
Okay, let me just set up rules while your action is made without any non-team. Okay, yeah, no, that that doesn't.
Yeah, that's. I needed to double check the reading because I wasn't sure if that was. But yeah.
So that's like saying, just to clarify that one rule, that is for like if you are in the background trying to like say you're trying to untie a rope that's like holding up something for someone else to catch.
Yeah, that's I figured that was the intent. I just hadn't used that, so I was double check. Wasn't quite sure of it.
So no. So just roll risky and normal, or risky standard, sabotage.
And I'm pushing for 2 stress.
Okay. Let's see when are you gonna roll?
Sabotage.
Oh, and then what numbers are you gonna roll?
Oh yeah, 3 dice.
3 dice.
Crit.
Oh, that's a crit. So, in that case, you just completely like your conversation essentially just completely. I'll even say that, like, say there's another bus person like in the restaurant as they're going on. You actually manage to get their attention as well. So no one in the restaurant is necessarily looking at Iravia while this is happening.
So while Claudia is doing this, she puts up her hand behind to give a thumbs up to Iravia.
Iravia doesn't even look at you.
Okay. All right, Iravia.
So that makes it, I'm going to guess that it says I either improve the effect or the improved position, so.
Can I see where the dice roll is and then decide which one I'll buff? Is that against the spirit?
I feel like it kind of is, but.
Okay, so so I will say this, it is risky.
All right.
Because I have a feeling this is not going to affect the delicacy of how you're doing this.
Yeah.
So it's just going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's roll them dice then.
All right.
It succeeds.
You did not succeed.
Well,
okay. You did not. You partially succeed. So what that is going to mean? Okay. Well, here's the other thing. Do you want to take a resistance roll?
Sure.
So how that's going to work is so just for the listeners, you rolled a 5, a 2, a 3, a 2, and a 3, which neither of those are 6s. So a resistance roll is you just straight up are rolling your resistance roll for Smash once I figure out how Excel works.
Also be 2 dice.
So you're going to roll 2 dice. Now, the thing is with that is you're going to essentially take 6 stress minus your highest rolled die. That is how a resistance roll works. However, what that will manage to do is you will act as if you succeeded, like fully succeeded.
Okay. Out of curiosity, how much stress is it to do a push anyway?
2.
2.
Okay. So I'm currently at 10 stress.
So you have, even if you roll a 1, you're taking 5.
Yep. Well, let's see my resistance.
You take 2 stress.
Okay, so I'm down to 8 stress. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So what happens is you take the hand, like how I don't know why I'm physically miming this because it's not going to help. You take essentially in your right hand, you take the grip. In your left hand, you take the scabbard, and you start to jostle it. And the rivets that are taking off start to come a little loose. Like you try and take it off, and you just kind of like gradually trying to take it off. And what you end up doing is you notice that you kind of knock, like you kind of grab it, and you notice that the brackets kind of just pop off of the wall. So, or you at least notice that they start to take off. Well, you then, as you see, so you get them off. Now, I'm debating about. I will give you this since you kind of look over your shoulder to see if they're noticing, and you kind of like take a look at. Okay, so I have a DM question, not Death Master question. I have a game master question. Is it in fair spirit if I were to give Iravia a quick potential out to make this not as illicit? Because what I'm thinking of happening is that you see that the brackets are come out, but they're not fully out yet. So what you could do is just let the sword rest and then have the brackets naturally fall off and like get off of the chair and look like as if the sword just fell.
I mean, I'm thinking of it. It could be like that. That could be the way that the resist happens. Is that represents the resist of itself? Because yes, you still succeeded, but because you ended up doing more damage to the wall in the brackets itself than the pulling the sword. That's how the action changed from a failure to a success, because you ended up do. That's what the resistance rule represents itself. If you get what I mean.
Okay. So I will we'll say that's what happened, is that as you pull it out, you actually notice that you pull the brackets out, and you notice that they're just kind of resting there. So what you do in order to be clever is you kind of let the sword rest on the brackets, and then you just kind of move out of the way for a bit and just kind of do you put your hands behind your back. And then about 5 seconds later, after you do that, the sword falls from the wall, and it makes a very loud clunk, which gets the attention of the staff and of the basically the attention of the staff. And as they're talking to as they're talking, let's just say the person on the counter just kind of is like, wait, what? It just kind of looks confused. And then she just kind of waves over to the person that kind of got called to and got distracted. And kind of the person who's like, I'm guessing like the busboy or something, is going through and just kind of walks up to the store. He's like, and sees he's standing there, is like, oh, what happened?
Oh no, man, it just fell off the wall. You sure that thing was properly secured?
Wait, it just fell in. Like, it didn't land on you, did it?
I mean, no. I think it did.
All right, so
man, I'm a big girl. I'm fucking built. I wouldn't notice. But do you mind if just Iravia goes to pick it up?
Wouldn't the seal be off by this point then? Now,
no, it's still connected.
Oh, so the seal is not like one of the paper seals. I thought
it is a paper seal, but it's tied in a way that's not like it's tied with like rope.
Okay, I wasn't clear. I thought it was just the usual way those seals are on.
No, it's not like scotch taped on. It's just, or like whatever. It's just, it's tied to it. As the person or the busboy kind of grabs down to grab it, you hear a door open, and you see a man, also dressed in like a let's just say like a Asian chef's outfit. And you just hear him, or he walks out and he's like, wait, what just happened? What just went on? and he looks and sees the sword and just kind of goes straight over to it. And just kind of, you see him run over to it. He's like, oh, hey, did it get damaged?
Iravia goes to grab the sword and pull it out just to check. He's going to immediately dip down and grab it.
As you pull it out of the scabbard, you see that it's not damaged. Like, and you can tell it is like a sword. Like, it is a Chinese junk.
It seems to be fine.
The person that kind of ran out was like, be careful with that. That came with me over here. That is an actual. You can kind of tell it's like that is an actual piece of like that is something that is like, do not break that.
If anyone would know something old, it's me.
I'd like to step over where this conversation is happening and kind of introduce myself in expectation this guy knows who I am.
He probably would not.
Well, in that case, I will introduce myself and then ask about the sword, if you can tell me anything about it. Like, just anything he can tell me about what he knows about it.
So he basically says, that, he's like, well, that sword is a family heirloom. It came with me from China. Like, that is a family heirloom. So I would appreciate it if it just got put down for a second. I could tell you more about it.
Ravi is just going to keep holding it.
Ferrus will apologize for Iravia. She was very interested in that sword, he will explain, and she must have been too focused to look at it to not really see what she was doing. That's his excuse.
Look, man, that bracket was loose as hell.
It's well, okay. So it is like, just I'm trying to think. It just says, well, it's a sword that's lasted throughout. Like that sword is centuries years old. It was actually served in a few wars.
Oh, which ones?
That is a good question.
Okay, so Lolo, Geons have been in use. The earliest recorded ones we have are around. I looked this up earlier today just because I figured something like this would come up. The earliest ones we have from Chinese sources is 7th century BCE. So you have a lot of latitude there.
Let's just say he gives a brief kind of history of it as has been lasted from like before. So I'm trying to think because
Iravia is gonna look him dead in the eyes and with a hint of irony is just go, oh yeah, that one's pretty fun.
And he just kind of looks at it as like, look, can we please just set it down for a moment? I really don't want I don't want anyone to get hurt.
Believe me, it takes a lot more than this to hurt
fair.
Nellos from over to counter will say, hi, I don't care about any of this, but how long is this going to delay my beef fried rice?
He just kind of looks back. He's like, someone's working on it. Don't you worry. And then just goes back.
I do want to ask something else on here. I'm going to tell him that I know this might be a strange question, but I'd like to know if there's like any local legends or anything that came with this sword, if there was like any stories told about it that were unusual.
There wasn't really any particular legend about it. It's been a family heirloom that's been in the family for over millennia.
Okay, so he hadn't heard it's magic or anything. Good to know.
Well, what's the story behind it, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, it's just a family. It's just a heirloom of the. One sec. Okay, where'd you go? Of the Bow family.
So Ravi is just gonna put it down, sit next to it, and just point at the talisman. And just go like, so what exactly is this?
That is a you can tell that he's starting to sweat a little, like he's starting to you can tell that he's a little like he's trying to think of something. Well, that is a talisman of good luck. When this came, we brought it over here from China to make sure that it would be kept in safe, that it wouldn't be damaged while it was traveling.
Just gotta just look at him dead in the eyes and just goes, Mister, that sounds like a load of bullshit to me. And I'm going to intimidate him.
Okay. Okay. That is going to be a let's just say let's say risky standard.
Okay, and I'm gonna use Trip to the Gun Show because obviously I'm a huge fucking cow. Fucking built as shit.
Let me just double check. Trip to the Gun Show. When your physicality would help, yes, you would get 1 die for that. That's 5 without pushing.
Without pushing, let's see. Yeah, look at that, a 6.
That you succeed. So you kind of like glare at him for a second. He's like, now what exactly are you intimidating him to do?
Tell me the fucking truth.
He's like, okay. The talisman is a talisman that has been in my family. It came with the sword. The sword might be haunted.
Tell me more.
Ella's ears perk up when she hears haunted, and she nonchalantly walks over to behind the booth where Iravia is.
He goes, look, he just kind of looks at the group of you and just kind of realizes you're all together. He's like, look, can we? And he just kind of looks at his thing and is like, can we go in the back for this discussion?
Okay, I'm holding onto the sword though.
Just hold on. That's fine. Just
look. Just letting you know, ma'am. Sir, I am an expert on haunted shit. So yes, let's go into the back.
And he's like, he just kind of hears that and he goes, okay. You just see him pause for a second and kind of think of a thing, and he's like, you can tell that he's weighing options in his head, and he goes, okay, let's just go in the back and we can have a discussion on this.
Robbie just gets up holding the sword still.
I'll follow after him.
Thank you for listening to Hazeltown Story. If you would like to get updates on this show and many other shows hosted by me, LoloDePuzlo, you can follow at Hazeltown Story on Twitter, and if you would like to get to know me more from a personal standpoint, you can follow my personal Twitter at LoloDePuzlo. If you would like to watch this be recorded live, you can go to twitch.tv/LoloDePuzlo and follow the channel for notifications of when this show, as well as other shows like Retro Rank Rhapsody, are being recorded. If you would like to add this podcast to your podcatcher of choice, you can search for WLDP Hazeltown Radio and find us on most major podcatching search engines. Or you can manually add rss.hazeltown.life to your podcatcher. Thank you for listening, and I hope you come around for the next episode.